So now let's see a problem which states that what we need to do here means first we need to take so, so first let us see what the question is. So the question is um let us see through it the input. So if we give the input as 5 and next what we have to do, we have to give a word with the length of 5. So the word must has the length as 5. So let us give a name as James. So next the output, what the output we need to get is 1126. So how can we get the output 1126? So let me just explain it. So what we can think. So let us uh, take and understand it by an example. So let us see for the word James. So James is the word that has the length of 5, and here the ASCII values of J, A, M, E and S, they have some values as the ASCII. So let us consider them as ASCII. So what we have to do here is we need to multiply the ASCII with the index. So here as we can see that the index usually starts from 0, but in this case we need to start the index by 1. So our first index will be 1. So what we need to do here is we need to calculate the product of the ASCII with its respective index. So here the J index is 1 and the ASCII value of J, let us take it as 74. So 75 into 1 we got a product. So here we have another rule which is the index or the ASCII value, whether the index can be odd or the ASCII can be odd, even if both are the odd, then only we can add the to a sum. So let us take that for just let us think that our sum is 0. So we can add the product that we have got after multiplying the ASCII with the index. If the index is odd, like let us take an example of 1 comma 74. Here the index 1 is odd but 74 is the even number, but still we can add 75 to that respective sum. So that's how we calculate this. So this is our problem statement. Now let us do the coding part. So first, as we can see here, we can take the import java.util.star. So because we need to take the scanner function here so that it doesn't give any error to us. New scanner, and we are taking the input, so it will be system.in. And next what we are going to do is, as usual, we need to take the input from the user. So the index is usually what it will be, sc dot and next int, as we are taking the input from the user. So what the length of the word should be taken, right? So let us think that it has index. That's it. Next what we are going to do, next we are going to take the string. So if we want to take the string, we need to add this line so that it does not create an issue to us, because as we click an enter button, so it will consider it as the string and it just execute like that. So to avoid this issue, we are using sc.nextLine, and next we are taking this string as input from the user. So of course we need to take the input, so we are using this sc.nextLine. By writing this, we can take the input from the user very easily. Okay, so next after this, we are going to write a for loop so that we can traverse in the particular string. So int I is equal to 0, I less than. So our string name we have given as s, and its length is our bond. So if the length is 10 and we are going out of bond, like if we are going like 11 is our length and we cannot give na, we cannot give a word that is, we cannot perform an operation on the word which length is more than, so we need to give a bound, right, so that it does not give error as bounded, exception bounded, out of bound, like that. And next I plus plus. Next what we are gonna do here, next we have given the string length also. Now what we need is, so from where the index should be started, so the index here should be started from I plus 1, as we have given here I is equal to 0, but we want the index should be started from 1. So what we are doing here, we are adding 1 to I so that the first index should be 1. Okay, next now we want the ASCII values. ASCII. So next, how can we convert a string into a ASCII, strings character into a ASCII? So here, as we know that in the string we store them as the characters. So here we are writing I because at index I, as we are taking the I as the index, so at index I, that means at index 1 what character is there. So if we want to know that in the index 1 there is J, as we know that, but that the code did not know it or the computer did not know it, so we are giving the exact address to it, that at index 1 we have letter J, at index 2 we have letter A, like that. If we want to give it, so we'll take it as character at I. And next dot S, of course, because what, from where we are taking that character, yeah, we are taking it from string, right? So of course we need to write S dot. So and now we need to convert it into the int. Okay, so we need to convert it into int, as we want ASCII in int form na, that's why we are converting it into int. So we cannot multiply a into 1 na, we want the ASCII value of that particular character, then after converting it into it, we can perform the product. Okay, next here another condition is there. What it is, the index modulo 2, it should not be equal to 0, as we know that the condition for the odd numbers is not equal to 0, but even we can take it as 0, equal to 0, but here they are asking for us to consider for the odd numbers, so we are considering it as modulo 2 is not equal to 0. And as we got the index, then what we are going to check for, what we are going to give the condition, we are going to give the condition of ASCII, so that should also be not equal to 0. And next it is also not equal to 0. Now what we are gonna do is, so we want the product, right? Product is equal to, what we are going to do, index into ASCII, right? So now what we want the sum. So okay ji, so now sum should be initialized, right? First initially the sum is equal to 0. Now what we are going to do is sum equal to sum plus, like sum plus or equal to what, product, right? Okay, now we are going to print this one. After the if loop and after the for loop, we are going to print our statement. Key God. Key was, now the system has to print the sum of the products whose ASCII or index or both ASCII and index are odd. So now we will be going to give our input, which is 5, and next we'll get 1126. So this is how we have cracked our code.